Here's a pattern so common it's almost a law of nature: the more someone pulls away from you, the more you want them, and the more available someone is, the more your interest cools. If you've ever been obsessed with a person who kept you at arm's length, while feeling bored by someone who adored you, you are not broken and you are not shallow. You're caught in one of the most predictable loops in human psychology, and it has a name and a mechanism. I've watched it wreck good people for years. So let me show you exactly what's happening between the chaser and the runner, and a single move that breaks the cycle for good. Start with the two main characters, because almost everyone leans toward one of them under stress. The first is the anxious type. When the anxious person feels close to someone, they feel wonderful, but they're also wired to fear losing it, so they're sensitive to any sign of distance. A slow reply, a slightly cool tone, and an alarm goes off inside them: something's wrong, I'm being abandoned. Their instinct under that fear is to move toward the other person, to reach, to reassure, to fix it, to pull them back close. Closeness calms them. Distance terrifies them. That's not neediness as a character flaw, it's a nervous system that learned, somewhere along the way, that connection is precious and can vanish without warning. So it guards it, anxiously. The second character is the avoidant type, and they're the mirror image. The avoidant person genuinely wants connection too, that's the part people miss, but closeness makes them feel something the anxious person never does: trapped. When someone gets too near, too needy, too intense, an alarm goes off in them as well, but it says the opposite thing: I'm losing my freedom, I'm being smothered, I need space. And their instinct under that fear is to pull back, to go quiet, create distance, find a reason the other person isn't right. Distance calms them. Closeness threatens them. They learned, somewhere, that depending on people is dangerous, that the safest move is to keep one foot out the door. So they do. Now put these two in a room together, and watch the machine switch on, because they are magnetically, disastrously drawn to each other. At first it's electric. The avoidance coolness and independence reads to the anxious person as exciting, mysterious, a prize to be won. The anxious person's warmth and pursuit feels, to the avoidant, flattering and safe, at first. But then the loop begins. The anxious one senses distance and moves closer to fix it. The closer they move, the more trapped the avoidant feels, so the avoidant pulls back further. The further they pull back, the more panicked the anxious one becomes, so they chase harder. Chase, retreat, chase, retreat. Each person's coping move is the exact thing that triggers the other's worst fear. They are perfectly designed to make each other miserable. And here's the cruel hook that keeps them locked in, the thing that makes it feel like love instead of a trap. Remember the chase. The anxious person, pursuing a partner who keeps slipping away, is living inside constant uncertainty: will they come close again, or won't they? And that uncertainty produces an intense, consuming, can't stop thinking about them feeling that the anxious person mistakes for the depth of their love. Meanwhile the avoidant, every time they pull away and the anxious partner doesn't actually leave, gets their fear confirmed and soothed: see, I can keep my distance and still be wanted. Both people are getting something out of the loop. It's painful, but it's familiar, and it's strangely addictive. That's why people stay in it for years, swearing this person is their great love, when what they're really hooked on is the chase itself. Let me name what this feels like from the inside, because you might be living it right now. If you're the anxious one, you're checking your phone constantly, your mood rising and falling with their attention, replaying conversations, certain that if you could just love them well enough, they'd finally let you all the way in. If you're the avoidant one, you felt strong pull at the start, but now there's a low hum of irritation, a need to escape, a list forming in your head of everything slightly wrong with them, and guilt, because you don't fully understand why you're pulling away from someone who's good to you. Neither of you is the villain. You're two nervous systems running incompatible survival strategies, each convinced the other is doing this on purpose. They're not. They're just running their own old code. Now the part that actually frees you. The anxious person's deepest belief is that if they chase hard enough, they can earn the closeness, that the right amount of effort will finally make the avoidant stay. It won't. Here's the hard truth: chasing an avoidant person doesn't pull them closer. It does the opposite. Every step you take towards someone who's pulling away presses directly on the exact fear that makes them run. Your pursuit, the thing you're sure proves your love, is the very fuel of their retreat. The harder you chase, the more trapped they feel, the faster they go. You are not failing to chase well enough. The chasing itself is the problem. And that realization is the doorway out, because it points to the one move that breaks the loop. Here's the move, and it's harder than it sounds: stop chasing, and watch what's actually there. Not as a manipulation tactic, not pull back to make them want you, because doing it as a trick keeps you hooked into the same loop, just sneakier. I mean genuinely stop pouring your energy into pursuing someone who keeps retreating, and pay attention to what remains when you do. Because one of two things will happen, and both give you the truth. Either the space you create lets a person who genuinely wants you step forward and meet you, in which case, wonderful, you found something real. Or the moment you stop chasing, they drift away entirely and don't come back, which tells you the only thing holding it together was your pursuit. That's not a relationship. That's you, doing the work of two people, and calling the exhaustion love. And let me push back on the comfortable conclusion, because avoidant people are emotionally unavailable, run from them is too simple and a little cruel. Avoidant and anxious aren't fixed life sentences or moral rankings. They're patterns, learned early, and they can shift. People move toward security with self-awareness, with the right partner, sometimes with real work on themselves. The goal here isn't to brand someone and discard them. It's to see the loop clearly enough to stop being run by it. Sometimes that means a hard conversation instead of a silent chase, naming the pattern out loud. I notice I move toward you and you move back, and we both end up unhappy. Sometimes it means working on your own end of it, so you stop needing someone else's constant reassurance to feel okay. And sometimes, yes, it means walking away from a dance that will never become a relationship. So here's what I want you to carry out of this. The intensity of wanting someone who keeps pulling away is not a sign that they're your person. Very often, it's just the chase, lighting up an old fear and disguising itself as love. The calm, slightly less dramatic feeling of being with someone who actually shows up, who moves toward you when you move toward them, isn't a lack of passion. It might be the first time your nervous system has felt safe enough to stop performing. The people who pull away are magnetic precisely because they keep you uncertain. But uncertainty isn't love. And you can stop running a race where the prize is a person who's always, by design, just out of reach. So watch for the loop, in your own pull toward the ones who retreat, and in the dance between people around you. Naming it is how you stop being run by it. If this changed how you see one relationship in your life, subscribe, one mind hack at a time.